So, welcome to HBCU Sports.com. I am Kendrick Marshall, the senior editor of HBCU Sports.com, and I'm joined here today by Kimberly Clark. She is the president of the HBCU Basketball Association. It is a new league that will feature Black college basketball players to get professional experience. And Kimberly has and her team has been a really big part in putting this all together. Kimberly, tell us a little bit about yourself and about the league and your involvement in it.
Okay, well, of course, he said I'm Kimberly Clark, affectionately known in my city as Sports Bay. Um, I have been in the space of sports, oh my God, for about 19 or 20 years. I have been in the space of sports, starting right here in my city. I kind of have a background in entertainment, radio, working for some record labels, and then I kind of got into the nonprofit sector. And while I was in that sector, I would volunteer and intern with city officials that were attempting to bring semi-professional or professional sports to my city. So my connection to sports is not because I've ever played sports or if I know anything about sports. I know the important stuff like slam dunk, touchdown, and home run. But my part is knowing, I started just knowing kind of the entertainment part of how to set up halftime, how to do pre-shows and post-shows. And then eventually I started learning about the office side a little bit. Some years down the line, still in the nonprofit sector, I was offered the opportunity to own a semi-professional team, which made me the first minority in my state, be it double minority rather, female and African American, to own a professional sports entity, which was my team, the Magic City Surge. And we are still present to this day. But in between time, I have been blessed to meet so many amazing people in the industry of sports, that have like spoke life into me and encouraged me or worked on projects together. So um, a dear friend of mine who I met because of my team at the City Surge, Kevin Williams, call him like my brother. He had reached out a few years ago to discuss doing some other type of projects. So we were looking to partner on something. He knew that I was definitely passionate about HBCUs. He was as well. He graduated from one. My grandmother attended. A lot of my family members attended HBCUs. I currently work at a HBCU and am a student. I'm non-traditional student trying to finish up some hours, but we talked, and I have always followed the history of just sports when it involves us. Trying to find out where is our space, what is missing, why is it that we can't be an NBA or a NFL, just creating something for us. So we have talked to so many HBCU players that wanted that opportunity to play on a professional level, but unfortunately, our schools are not looked at hard enough for our players to have those opportunities all the time. So we started off with a team. It was just going to be one team, going to do tours. And a friend of Kevin mentioned that, you should start your own league. You all have the knowledge between you all to do so. And so we discussed, and I definitely prayed hard about it. Of course, we was like, no, we're not gonna do it. That's just too much. But the vision just kept on getting bigger. Opportunities kept on being presented to us. And once we went to Travis Williams HBCU All-Star game. I never forget, me and my husband made a one-day trip to go to that game because we wanted to go so bad. And we all met up. And once we saw that, that was just like, we got to do it. Like, there's no other option. Like, what are they going to do after this? They
Yeah.
got invited to combines. Nobody got selected. What would they have done after that, even if they had not been chosen for a combine? Where are they to go? A lot of these guys don't want to go overseas.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's funny you mentioned that because like this week is the week of the actual NBA draft, and I don't think any black college players were a part of the combine process itself. So this is kind of timely what this league is about. So it hadn't been since 2010. Kyle O'Quinn got drafted by from Norfolk State to the league. He's still in the league. So is a couple more players with black college ties in the league. But like since then, like there's hardly ever any black college kids that goes to the NBA. They either play overseas or they're stuck in the G League or something like that.
Or they're
But
playing a semi-professional team within
yeah,
the state. So yeah.
yeah. So like, I mean, like, how receptive were the players to like want to be a part of this league?
Wow, Kendrick. They are so excited. We have so many. I'm excited for them. That is not so, like I told you, my experience, what I know about sports. So, my business partner, he is the GOAT when it comes to recruiting and knowing all this stuff because he played basketball. So, that's his thing. But they have been so receptive. We have 3 to 5 commitments already, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's really more than that, but we have for sure 5 commitments already. And surprisingly, when I talked to my partner this morning already, and we haven't, keep in mind, we haven't even dropped the press release to the media yet. So this hasn't even gotten to like the media yet. We already have guys online sending their information and their film so they can be invited to a combine or know when trials are. So far as the guys, they are ready. They are definitely ready. And
So
I
there's
think
going to be a draft, right, for
yeah,
this league, right? Yeah.
yes, so there will be a draft. So this will be the first ever. So we're excited. It'll be in Houston, Texas, the weekend before the Super Bowl. I don't have my calendar, so forgive me with dates. But of course, Kendrick, you'll have all that because you'll probably be a guest. But making sure all y'all come out. But we are super excited. Combines will start in January. We'll have our tryouts and then the draft. And then, hey, season starts end of February, beginning of March. We'll go to May. Playoffs and championships will be in June in Miami. So we're like super excited. Those things are planned out and ready. Right now, we're just trying to get the word out, get a buzz, get a feel of how well we see now. Everybody is super excited, but I think it's long overdue. And I want to go back to something you mentioned about players in the NBA or the G League. There's actually only one active player from Tennessee State University that plays in the NBA. There was another drafted, but he's not, I don't think he's actively playing. And you have 3 in the G League. But we're talking about in all the history of the NBA, that's all we have. We have those 2. How
Yeah.
long has the NBA been around? And then if you want to really talk about it, another thing that super inspired us outside of Travis Williams and his event was we love history, and I love our history. We discovered the Black Fives. Now, I had read about Rodney Cooper before, so I kind of knew he participated in that, but I didn't never dive into the Black Fives. So we were just kind of researching some stuff, and we ran across the Black Fives. And are you familiar with the Black Fives?
No, I'm not.
So I'm gonna give you some homework, but I'll give you a little bit of it. Um, they start okay. So back in the early 1800s, I'm sorry, late 1800s, early 1900s, basketball players were called the Fives because 5 guys, right? Well, of course, there was not space for us. So, being the creatives that we are, we created the Black Fives. So these were multiple teams across the United States, mainly up north. That were teams of players. They called themselves the Black Fives. That was pretty much like a league, maybe, but it wasn't really officially a league. And everyone had a team. But what was surprising in the research was there were a lot of female teams as well. So Black women have been participating in basketball since as early as 1904, prior to playing on a semi-professional level. So when we read about the Black Fives and what they did and what they created and how it spun into other things for our communities and our culture, that was just like the nail on the coffin. Like, no, I mean, any other negative thoughts about what we're scared to do is over, because it's not about us. Our ancestors started something years ago. We've always been great, and now it's time to take what they started, that foundation, and build that skyscraper that they always dreamt about. So that's what we're doing.
Right. And so I would be remiss if I didn't ask you, as a woman who's running a professional sports league, what does that mean to be in this space that's historically been dominated by men?
Oh, wow. This journey has not been easy. Being a African American woman, woman of color, Black woman, woman, period, strong woman, um, strong in what I believe in. And if I see a vision and I believe in someone, I'm going to fight for them. I'm going to fight for the cause. So it has not been easy, but it has been so rewarding, because I come from very humble beginnings. I was a teen mom. My story is different from some of the stories that some people have in these spaces. So for me to be in this space, and it's being dominated by men, of course, but to have a space and not only be able to sit at the table with them, but to create a table and then create another table and just I just own the whole table company, like right about now, in my book, because to be heard is so important. So it has been hard in the past, but as we have grown over the years and moved around in the spaces with these men, um, in sports, they have opened up some doors. They have moved the table and placed it in front of us. So I want to give them a round of applause, because it's really not what people think when it comes to our men. When it comes to us, they want us there. They want us in that space. They want us to have that experience, especially when we have a vision, we have the knowledge, and we have that nurturing component that we're going to take care of whatever we have, like it's our own, like it's our baby. So I think that it can be a struggle, but when you find where you belong, when you find your niche, when you find your space, dominate it. Dominate it.
It's a wonderful answer. Getting back to the league itself, I was reading up a little bit on it, and I saw that there's some cities in Black College territory that you guys are going to have teams in. Can
Yes,
you list those cities for the audience?
I cannot. Oh, look, I wish I could, but I cannot. But just know, I guess we're gonna get the audience to do some research. Okay, so now they got to look up the Black Fives, and then they're gonna have to research what states have the most HBCUs, and start there.
Yeah.
So
Like, I
you might,
actually have it up on my screen right
and then
now.
so that means you don't tell them; they got to do their own homework.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but I will say that the teams are going to be in traditional Black College territories
Mhm.
across the South.
Yes.
Um, yeah, like so. I'm pretty sure at the end of this interview, like, we'll provide information to you guys about like where to find out more information about the league itself, and kind of like some of the things that people can know about, like tryouts and all that stuff.
Yes.
And when the draft is happening. But Kimberly, you mentioned before that, like, you're giving opportunities to some athletes who otherwise wouldn't get them.
Mhm.
And so, in your research with yourself and your team, what have you kind of found out about, like, why athletes from Black colleges don't advance to the NBA?
Well, they're always in competition with a D1, PWI's D1. Um, they're in those spaces. Those colleges tend to have sometimes more connections and more money to get more eyes on their players. And that's really all I can see why. It's always the money train. And it's all about who you know, not what you know. So they are able to be in those spaces where they can be looked at. But at the same time, I don't know. I'm trying to be as nice about it as possible. Those are not our spaces. You understand what I'm saying? So we can be the best athlete, but if it's not our space, no one still is going to look at us or for us. And so when we move to where our space is, we become the man on campus or the woman on campus because we're where we belong. So we know that with this, we're putting those eyes where they belong.
Right. And so what type of support you guys are getting in terms of, like, I know you said the players are going to be, paid to
Mm-hmm.
play.
Mm-hmm.
So what type of, backing, either private or public, is the league going to receive?
So right now we're private, of course. So we have some, I would say, I guess, angel investors. But we're definitely will be looking for sponsors. So I think this will be a great opportunity for Black businesses to be involved. From banners to uniforms to however they would like. But this is a community to build a super culture, and it doesn't mean that we're just so inclusive. It's for a super culture includes everyone. So we want to create a super culture from our end. Um, we want to take some of the stuff that we have always created and then give it back out. So we don't always feel like it's taken from us. We can kind of take it, it's ours, and now we're ready to share. So the support, angels, investors, sponsors, there'll be some other ways that people can support, and some other deals that are on the table. So we're just super excited. I think I'm overwhelmed and shocked at the same time because it happened so fast. It was like I woke up and it was like, why is my phone dinging like this? What is going on? And I was like, oh my God, okay, it's out. I guess I can share it now, So we're just super excited. We hope that everyone is excited as we are. We hope that they support because it's not about us. It's really not. It's about those young men, and they are so excited. And I know their families are excited that they will even have the opportunity to do so. I know that alumni are excited. I know that youth are excited. Our goal is to also build that HBCU pipeline from our communities to the colleges. So we're hoping that in the process we can see an increase in admissions, retention, and graduation rates. That's what we're looking for also, to make sure that what we're doing doesn't just affect the players, it affects the whole community. Everything should get better because of the work that we're all putting in.
Right. Yeah, it's hard not to notice over the last, I guess, couple of years of how so many different entities have kind of declared their investment in Black colleges and in Black college sports. With your league starting up pretty soon here in 2023, you kind of get a sense that, like, more public and private entities are starting to kind of, like, for lack of a better word, jump on a Black college bandwagon.
Oh wow, Kendrick. Okay. Yes, I mean, I really, it's a bandwagon. That's exactly what it is. It's a bandwagon, and it's okay. It's really okay. We're not gonna say we don't want the support. We need it. It's okay. But I do think it's a bandwagon, but that's just part of human nature. That's just part of culture.
Right. And so, Kimberly, my last thing for you is, and thanks for all your time, we really appreciate it, is I know this league is hadn't started yet, and when it takes off, it's going to be one of the youngest professional leagues in the country. But what does it say to have a league like this just before Black college athletes, and kind of like the imprint you guys want to make in that arena?
We want to make sure that we take care of the whole athlete. We're not, we're providing them this opportunity to play on a professional level. But one of my biggest mantras, one of my biggest beliefs is no one can ever find their purpose in life if they don't live out that one thing they wanted to really do. So if a guy wanted to play professional basketball on a professional level and he never got a chance, it'll always be in the back of his mind, and he will never probably operate, he or she, in their full potential. So we want to make sure that we focus on the whole athlete. So it won't just be about basketball. We'll focus on the transitional development, making sure that they can transition from a professional player to back into society. Okay, sometimes you don't get all the screams and ask for the autographs and all the attention you get once you're just regular again. And a lot of athletes deal with that on a mental health level. So we want to make sure that we're providing those things, making sure that they are equipped financially. So we're going to provide them with financial literacy. So we'll cover financial literacy, mental health, and some other components that we have been shown, and that would be like well sourced, evidence based, can help them continue to be productive throughout life. Um, so that's all it's about. Just not them playing basketball, but really creating productive human beings
Right.
the best way you can. So if you have an avenue, be it your podcast, if it's a way to give out information to just be more positive in our community and culture, continue to do that. And that's what we need to do through sports. It's not, just for entertainment. It's also to make people better.
Right. That's a good answer. And now, Kimberly, before we wrap up, where can folks find out more about you and this league?
Okay, great. So if you want to find out more about the HBCU Basketball Association, you can visit www.thehbcuba.com. You can follow us on Instagram at HBCU Basketball Association. We're on Facebook at the HBCU League. And if you just want to see who I am, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Sports Bay Beham, and it's BHAM.
All right, great. Kimberly, thanks again for your time and information. We really appreciate it, and we're looking forward to this new basketball opportunity for a lot of our kids.
I am looking forward to it as well, and I'm looking forward to doing more interviews in the future. Get some of these guys over here for you to interview.
Yes, sure thing. We'll definitely appreciate it.
Okay, cool.